In the sweltering summer of 1776, as the Liberty Bell cracked its first defiant peal over Philadelphia, a young blacksmith named Elias Hawthorne stood knee-deep in the fetid waters of the Schuylkill River, his hammer raised not against an anvil, but against the ghosts of an empire that refused to die. Little did the Continental Congress know, as they inked the Declaration of Independence, that beneath their very feet lay a labyrinth of secrets forged in fire and blood, a hidden forge where the sparks of revolution weren't just rhetoric, but molten steel shaped into weapons that could shatter kings. Elias, a man whose scarred hands bore the weight of unspoken betrayals, was about to unearth the truth that would make the signing of that fateful document seem like child's play. The real war for America began not with quills, but with a cursed cannon that whispered prophecies of doom. Elias Hawthorne was no ordinary smith. Born in 1742 to indentured servants from the rolling hills of Yorkshire, England, he had crossed the Atlantic at age 12 aboard the HMS Providence, a floating hell of scurvy and shackles. His father, a weaver, ruined by the Enclosure Acts that turned common lands into aristocratic playgrounds, had bartered their freedom for passage to Pennsylvania's promise of prosperity. But prosperity, Elias learned early, was a lie peddled to fools. By 1760, at 18, he apprenticed under Master Armorer Silas Reed in the shadow of Independence Hall, where the air hummed with the clatter of looms and the murmurings of sedition. Reed's forge wasn't just the place of iron, it was a nexus of whispers. British spies posing as merchants, colonial agitators smuggling powder under barrels of ale, and runaway slaves vanishing into the night like smoke from a bellows. The year was 1765, and the Stamp Act had ignited the colonies like dry tinder. Elias, broad-shouldered and quick with a ladle of molten lead, hammered out musket balls by day while eavesdropping on tavern talk by night. Taxation without representation is tyranny, the printers cried, their pamphlets fluttering like rebel flags. But Elias saw deeper. In the dim glow of Reed's hearth, he once caught his master etching strange symbols into a cannon barrel, a snarling wolf entwined with 13 stars, predating any colonial flag by a decade. "Old magic, boy," Reed muttered, his eyes darting like a cornered fox. "From the Druids of Avalon, carried across by the first ships, it binds the metal to the will of the land." Elias dismissed it as ale-fueled fancy, but the cannon, dubbed Wolfsbane, never missed its mark in militia drills. Balls fired from it curved unnaturally, finding redcoat knees in the fog of mock battles. By 1770, Elias had taken over the forge after Reed vanished during the Boston Massacre riots. Rumors swirled of a midnight abduction by lobsterbacks. His body later fished from the harbor with a silver wolf's head pendant clutched in his fist. Elias married Abigail, a Quaker seamstress whose needlework hid abolitionist codes in petticoats, and they settled in a clapboard home on Chestnut Street. Their son, little Theo, born in 71, gurgled over crucibles while Elias crafted the hardware for the first Liberty Tree, a massive elm in Philadelphia's Commons, its branches heavy with effigies of tax collectors swaying like hanged men. But the hook that snagged Elias's soul came on a frost-bitten dawn in December 1773. News of the Boston Tea Party raced south like wildfire. Sons of Liberty disguised as Mohawks, dumping 342 chests of East India Company tea into the harbor, a defiant splash worth 9,659 pounds in today's dollars, enough to fund a small army. Elias, roused by a frantic knock from Paul Revere's courier network, a chain of silversmiths and printers stretching from Boston to Charleston, loaded his wagon with disguised crates, not tea, but gunpowder and ball bearings, smuggled from Dutch traders via the Caribbean. As he rumbled north under cover of a blizzard, the wagon's axles groaning like tortured souls, Elias felt the first tremor of destiny. Buried beneath the powder was Reed's wolfsbane, wrapped in oilcloth, its barrel humming faintly as if alive. The journey was a gauntlet of peril. British patrols scoured the King's Highway, their bayonets glinting under lantern light, searching for seditious materials. Elias posed as a tinkerer, his forge tools clanking as camouflage, but twice he evaded capture. Once by fording the icy Delaware at Trenton, where Washington's future crossing would echo his own stealth, and again near New York, where a loyalist innkeeper's daughter, smitten by his Yorkshire accent, slipped him a warning note sewn into a loaf of rye bread. "The wolf howls for you," it read, inked with berry juice. Elias's blood ran cold. The pendant from Reed's corpse had been passed to him years prior, a family heirloom of sorts, though he'd never worn it. Arriving in Boston on the eve of the Intolerable Act's enforcement, Elias delivered his cargo to the Green Dragon Tavern, the revolutionaries' clandestine HQ. There, amid pipe smoke and tankards of flip, he met the giants of the age. Samuel Adams, his eyes burning with Puritan fire. John Hancock, whose signature would soon dwarf the parchment it graced. And a shadowy figure known only as the Alchemist, later revealed as Benjamin Franklin's lesser-known associate, Joseph Warren, physician and Freemason. Warren, with his powdered wig askew and fingers stained from alchemical experiments, inspected wolfsbane in the tavern cellar. "This isn't iron," he whispered, tracing the runes. "It's meteorite, fallen in the Virginia colony in 1650, during the height of the Navigation Act's tyranny. The natives called it sky iron, believed it carried the anger of fallen stars." What Warren didn't know, and what Elias would uncover only through blood and betrayal, was that wolfsbane was no mere cannon. Forged in 1692 during the Salem witch trials, its metal had been tempered in the blood of accused sorcerers, blending colonial paranoia with ancient Celtic lore smuggled by Puritan exiles. The wolf runes? A map, etched in inverse, 13 points marking hidden caches of arms, powder, and gold buried by the first Freemasons in America, men like Elias's own ancestors who fled religious persecution only to birth a new one. The cannon wasn't a weapon, it was a key to the underground arsenal, a network predating the revolution by 80 years, designed to arm not just rebels, but the enslaved and indentured against their common chains. As the First Continental Congress convened in '74, Elias returned south, his mind ablaze. Philadelphia buzzed with delegates from 12 colonies, Georgia abstaining like a sulky child, debating petitions to King George III, who dismissed them as madness. Elias's forge became a hub. He cast the bronze for the first colonial seal, a bald eagle clutching arrows and olive branch, inspired by the Iroquois Great Seal he'd glimpsed in Mohawk trade goods. But whispers of espionage haunted him. A British major, Reginald Thorpe, Elias's boyhood tormentor from the Providence voyage, now a spy master in the Secret Service, had infiltrated the city as a clockmaker. Thorpe's clock shop on Market Street ticked with hidden compartments, each spring-loaded with ciphered dispatches to General Gage. The first clash came in April 1775 with the Ride of Revere and Dawes. The British are coming. Elias, alerted by carrier pigeon, a Franklin invention, feathers dyed patriot blue, rallied the local militia. At Lexington Green, though miles away, his wolfsbane, loaned to Captain John Parker, bellowed its first roar. The shot heard round the world wasn't from Parker's fowling piece. It was wolfsbane's curve-shot ball, arcing through dawn mist to shatter a redcoat sergeant's powder horn, igniting a chain of misfires that turned British volley into chaos. 8 colonists dead, but the myth was born. David's slingshot against Goliath's line. Elias's true odyssey unfolded that summer as he chased the cannon's secrets westward. Guided by the pendant's howl, a faint vibration intensifying near ley lines, those ancient earth veins the Druids revered, he unearthed the first cache in the Pine Barrens of New Jersey. 500 muskets, Charleville smuggled via Acadian routes post-expulsion of 1755, when 11,500 French Catholics were deported from Nova Scotia, their ships repurposed for rebel supply. Buried with them, a journal from 1704, penned by Elias Ashmole, founder of English Freemasonry, detailing the American Rite, a Masonic order blending Rosicrucian alchemy with Lenape shamanism, aimed at forging a new Atlantis free from monarchy. But Thorpe was on his trail. In a moonless ambush near Morristown, the Major's dragoons cornered Elias in a Quaker meeting house. "Traitors' blood for the king," Thorpe snarled, his saber drawn.